Boy, kid.
Out a little bit, but this is a very Netflix and chill type of week just because not a whole lot of other stuff is happening. Seriously, if you haven't started watching Jessica Jones, now is the time to do that. Let's get to questions though. Here we go. Ruben Brown asks, is it true that Peter Parker was cut out of the movie? Why would they do that? You know, a bunch of exclamation points. Well, he's not confirmed to be out of the movie, he's not confirmed to be in the movie, but Kevin Feige has laughed a lot in interviews where he said people just kind of take for granted that he's in there. Think about the movies Marvel has coming next year. They have Captain America Civil War in the
Hold on,
spring.
let me finish this gun
Doctor
game.
Strange happening at the end of the year. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is supposed to be introduced in a Marvel film, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then the year after that, he'll go into his own first solo film. The first film in a new trilogy at Sony with Marvel's help. So if you're doing a big comic book arc, like say Civil War, wouldn't it make the most sense to use Spider-Man, who is a big part of that arc in comic book Civil War? But the thought is, you know, because of the arrangement that they worked out with Sony and the way Spider-Man works in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's not going to be as big a character as Captain America or Iron Man. He's going to be an important part of the story, just not a very huge presence in the film. When you think of the scope of Spider-Man's role in comic book Civil War, like he's a huge part of it, think of that as going to Black Panther in movie Civil War. Marvel owns 100% of the movie rights to Black Panther, so of course they're going to focus on him more. He's going to get his own solo film eventually too, so they're going to spend more time with Black Panther than they will with Spider-Man.
Hold on, let me finish
The
this gun
conversation
game.
about Spider-Man isn't so much about whether or not he's going to be in Civil War, it's going to be what
Because
his
a lot of
costume is
people are
going to look like.
AFK.
And it's supposed to start out super lo-fi, like the kind of costume a normal 15-year-old child would create. So I definitely think he's in there, but it's kind of a Luke Skywalker thing where they don't put him in any of the trailers. Like you don't see him until the actual film. Next question, Michael asks, who do you think will end up winning this war, Charlie? So I assume you're talking about Captain America or Iron Man. If you've read comic book Civil War, I do think it will go down in a very similar way. Because that's kind of spoilery, I'm not going to say how that ends. If you don't have a Marvel Unlimited account, I think that they have a lot of Civil War and the stuff that comes after on Marvel Unlimited. So you'll just have to double check.
Yeah, I'm smacking people, okay?
Lately. I haven't been using Marvel Unlimited that much recently. But
Alright.
I definitely think that they're going to go for the big twist at the end of comic book Civil War. I think they'd be wasting a big opportunity if they didn't try it, even though most of the world knows what happens during comic book Civil War. That's going to be a really funny, awkward situation. The Star Wars films are not in. Episode 7 has the advantage of being a completely new story that's not based on anything else. Next question, DYT asks, I know this sounds strange, but my favorite scene was when Captain America is confronted by Iron Man and Cap says, it's been a long day. You can feel the tension in that scene, and as much as I love the action and seeing my favorite heroes, the solid acting performances in those tense scenes is amazing. So yeah, that's really where Robert Downey Jr. and those other actors shine, is when they're doing the drama stuff. Usually when they're pitching these stories to the actors, they're like, okay, what's my character going to be doing in this? What's his arc? They talk about these types of scenes. The big twists are just kind of signposts that they use to demarcate acts of the film. Like, well, in this act, this is going to be the big twist, but then when they fill it in with all those character moments, that's when it becomes an actual movie. Like, a lot of these big films are roller coasters. There's the roller coaster part where it's just like the thrill, like, oh my god, this is happening, everything's exploding on screen, it's going crazy.
Oh, I need 2 more
Really
kills.
moments that you relate to, like where you connect with the characters. Like Cap and Bucky, their friendship. Next question, Patrick asks, where was the Vision? I don't want to see Spider-Man until the movie. Hopefully they learned from Avengers Age of Ultron and aren't releasing as many clips. Well, I think you're going to be disappointed if you don't think they're going to be releasing a ton of clips. There's going to be all kinds of this movie, but the Vision is probably just not a huge
Yo,
part
back
of
away
the
from
film,
me, because I just
so it's
finished.
first trailer to focus on the biggest stuff. Even though half of the Avengers are going to be in the movie, this is still a Captain America movie, so most of the film, like most of the scenes, will follow his perspective, like him walking around interacting with all the different characters. Vision is just a really interesting presence because he's so powerful. He still has the mind gem, which we all know Thanos is going to have to take from him at some point to form the Infinity Gauntlet, so he's probably not long for this world. But the cool thing is if you have read a lot of Scarlet Witch Vision stories, you know, their big relationship they've had in the comics for a long time. She is supposed to be Team Cap. He's
Yo,
supposed
it's
to
my
be
guy
Team Iron Man. So we will get to see
thing
some fun
diamond.
Easter eggs for their comic book rivalries. Nobody can fight like lovers fight, and you can write as many fics as you want about this film. There's going to be so much